people of Earth an ideal to strive towards. They will race behind you. They will stumble. They will fall. But in time, they will join you in the sun. In time, you will help them accomplish wonders.
How did we get here? How did superheroes take over Hollywood like this? Films like The Avengers, Iron Man 3, and The Dark Knight have made over $1 billion at the box office, ranking among the highest grossing films of all time. This in turn led to Disney, Warner Brothers, and Fox to greenlight and start production on an incredible amount of superhero films and inspire other companies to follow in their footsteps. Before we go any further though, why is it that superheroes themselves became so popular in the first place? Let's rewind the clock to 1938. Towards the end of the Great Depression, Detective Comics publishes the very first issue of Action Comics, starring none other than Superman. As World War II began, comic books and superheroes exploded in popularity for their easy-to-read tales of good triumphing over evil. That last part is very important, as during some of the most horrific moments of human history, people found comfort in reading about other people who could fight against the evil that they themselves were fighting. When fear of nuclear war swept over the US post-World War II, superhero stories changed to address those fears and alleviate them. However, once they accomplished that task and infallible, perfect superheroes were no longer needed, the superhero genre declined in popularity. It needed to adapt to a new audience, one that wanted to see heroes made more human and have flaws that the audience could relate to. And so that's what they did. What this shows is that superheroes represent the idealized version of humanity, and evolved as people needed them to evolve. It was only a matter of time before it translated to film. Richard Donner's Superman and Tim Burton's Batman spawned a wave of comic book and superhero films, most of them good, others bad, like Batman and Robin.
Come on, sing! Louder, come on, sing! Come on!
Culminating in a big boom of comic book and superhero films in the 2000s and 2010s, with the arrival of films such as X-Men, Spider-Man, Hulk, Batman Begins, and Iron Man, all of which led to massive blockbuster hit franchises. Why in the 2000s though? Some critics argue that the state of society post 9/11 made it so that more people went to superhero films as a form of escapism. Stories featuring people who strive to fight against evil and even when they're beaten down keep coming back and fight helped Americans unite and stand together following the tragedy. Look at this scene from 2002's Spider-Man. Did you feel like that was patriotic? Inspiring? That's because Sony themselves added that scene in as a response to the attacks. We've been seeing a lot of these kind of scenes in following superhero films. Scenes that have this sort of hell yeah, us feeling to them. That's because that was a reflection of New York after those attacks. People united for a common cause. In fact, the traditional superhero formula of today really was built around that time. Think about it. The regular guy gets powers in time to fight a villain as or more powerful than our hero. The hero struggles against the villain, but eventually defeats them with the help of their friends, with some exceptions and variations. Think about it. Captain America? Spider-Man? Now you could argue against that, and that's why other critics believe that the rising popularity of superhero films in the 2000s could be attributed to the advancements of special effects, which finally gave film directors the tools they needed to properly portray the complex visuals that came with superpowers. Imagine how difficult it would be to convincingly portray heroes like the Flash or Green Lantern without modern-day special effects. I mean, would you rather watch this?
I understand.
Or this?
Remove it. Ooh, it's active! Run!
Crazy, right? How far we've come? Whatever it was, box office numbers and the amount of superhero films kept rising. What really needs to be understood about these films is that they show people who can inspire the audience and make them dream. Superheroes have an appeal to everyone. Kids want to be just like them, adults probably want to just as much, but they're also there to enjoy the uplifting themes that are present. There are films that have grown and evolved at the times, always serving a specific purpose. That's why they've gotten so popular. Now the question then becomes whether the genre is actually sustainable. With Marvel and DC announcing at least 2 films per year, each all the way up to 2020, won't there eventually be genre fatigue? Superhero comics eventually died down in popularity. Could the same happen for their film counterparts? The CEO of Warner Brothers doesn't think so, citing that everything looks different. But if you think about it, you can slap a new coat of paint on an old wall, it won't make the wall any different. You can put in different heroes, except female ones apparently. I mean, it took forever for Wonder Woman to get greenlit. But if the core of the genre doesn't change, it won't make the films feel any different. Will people eventually not watch these films anymore due to them all feeling the same? It's hard to say. It's difficult to imagine Hollywood letting its most profitable genre die, though. Maybe the genre will adapt, just like it did after World War II and the Cold War, or maybe it'll just die like the Westerns did. But whatever happens, we should just enjoy ourselves. Because in the end, when you strip it down to its core, superhero films are just really fun. And that's the most important part.
Pause. You can save a girl. You can save all of them.